Lovely jubbly, just tricked you there. God, look at the signal. That's got to be reviewed, especially on the Perfectdraft Pro. And it's quite a lot heavier. Especially with the whistle. Oh, Jesus. Good afternoon, people. Hey, it's Paul.
I'm Michelle.
Rate my beer, me. So, clever, clever. Right, we're doing one we did right on the original release date. Orchard Pig. Rather than just doing the Orchard Pig on its own at the moment, we're going to do it with a bottle because I've had a lot of things from people in beer groups. And people say that's very similar to the bottle. If you remember when I did my original review, there was 3 of us here rather than 2.
That's right.
We had our guest Harry, who was going to be with us yesterday, funny enough, for the Koppenberg, because he's kind of half my age and can understand the go. Unfortunately, he's busy working this week, which is a damn shame. He was trying to get back yesterday, but couldn't, unfortunately. I haven't heard from him today. Anyway, before the glass defrosts, I'll pour the Orchard Pig from the machine. I don't need me to turn that round, it's obvious what it is, and Michelle will do
And
that.
I'll get on with doing this.
So let's do that. I'm out the way of that. Right, yeah, it's in the middle machine. We've got the fridge at 1 and the machine at 0, so we're pretty even on it, I would think. Get a quick picture, because this feels absolutely ice cold, just how a cider should be as well.
There we go.
Obviously, we haven't gone back on the old video because I don't see the point.
Yeah.
It's too easy if you're going to do that, and then you're going to contradict what you say anyway.
So looks wise, looking very similar.
I thought that looks a bit more. That looks a bit lighter than that one, but it could be my light. You know, these are always
no, they're looking very similar to me.
impossible to do. This is Yorkshire Pig Revler. I'm sure you all know. It's been out over a year now. I absolutely love it, to be honest.
Yeah, for me it's a really good summer cider. It's all of the things that it said. It says a hearty aroma of West Country cider apples, a crisp, refreshing, lightly sparkling cider with a tangy note of freshly squeezed lime.
Yep.
So
it delivered, you know. For me, we screamed for a cider. I mean, obviously we've got Dan now. I remember the days of Conrad, and Conrad tried everything. I was even actually testing ciders.
there was
for
certain
Conrad.
ciders
But
that
they
we
couldn't
tested and they couldn't get them to cope.
produce. Yeah, they couldn't produce enough for the volume. They weren't big enough companies. Unfortunately, Orchard Pig came along. The rest is history. I know you've got Koppenberg now. If I was choosing the cider, you'd have had the Truffler or Jezza's. That's my personal opinion. But then the Koppenberg sold out probably quicker than the next one of that would, or Jezza's would. Jezza, oh, I don't know, Jezza, big name.
Yeah, there's a big
That's
name
a
there.
tricky one there, but there you go. Koppenberg got the deal on that. Koppenberg don't need Perfectdraft, I don't think, and Perfectdraft don't need Koppenberg. I would say it probably worked good for both of them. So let's get on with these.
Okay.
See what we can get here.
Yeah, just apples.
Yeah.
I'm smelling apples.
That's what you should smell. They smell quite
Yeah.
similar, if I remember, don't they?
Very similar.
Yeah. It was in the taste, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, let's go on this. Absolutely lovely. Hold on, I think that's cool. Yeah, so it's only cool. Checking it won't be delivery. Absolutely top drawer. And so that's running at 0. That's the fridge is set at 1, so they're pretty much, because you know it has to be ice cold to enjoy, doesn't it? It's absolutely lovely. You get the burst of apples. You do get the hint of lime at the end.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. You've got that lovely crisp apple taste with a nice hint of lime.
Right. It's good. it's a good representation, as I said before. But I don't feel again that the apples are as prominent in it, and I'm also not getting the lime really at the end. It's there, just, but it's still good, as I again said on the original one. I remember, but there is notable differences.
You're picking up much more on the zinginess of the lime in this one than in this one.
Yeah, that's what I said originally.
Yeah, you have got that zesty thing.
There's
that the lime is given to that you're not getting from the bottle.
There's a few people, like a certain Welshman, I'll mention no names, and that's not a YouTube review, by the way, this is Facebook banter.
Yeah.
Before anyone says
yeah,
he's saying this.
Gets involved in
As a
that,
Welshman that's actually a friend of mine, well, actually, so it's the other Welshman, but that's irrelevant. But it's just a bit of Facebook banter. This is there's a certain Welshman that said to me, "You can't tell the difference," and you can straight away, can't you? And I said this
definitely
over a year ago now when it first came out. And don't get me wrong, the bottle is a good representation of the keg, but the keg's got more depth, and it is different. I've got to pick the same one up then.
I'm letting both of them move around my mouth, getting to use all the different taste buds that you've got there. And
that's not many with you.
So I chose to get married to you.
Yeah, I didn't
asked for that one.
I didn't have no choice, you see. She's admitting it.
So with this zestiness of the lime, I'm really picking up on that around the edges of my tongue. And yeah, for me, the keg really is getting a lot more of that lime flavour in it.
Isn't it fine that the carbonation, that doesn't look a lot of difference, but the carbonation on that seems to run more freely as it's going down and everything.
Yeah.
The bottle is good, and I said this originally. Remember, I reviewed that bottle. That was at the time when I used to know when the kegs were coming out. So I'd reviewed that bottle, and I kept hinting, which probably got me in a lot of trouble.
If you want volunteering, should I go for a whole keg of this? I'm not a usual cider drinker, but it's summertime, I might like some cider. And you're not sure if you're going to like it or not, try the bottle, because it is a good feel of what it would be like and if you would enjoy the keg. The keg is just that little bit more superior for me. I'm getting a little bit more lime flavour in there. And like you say, the carbonation, there's just a little bit more carbonation moving those flavours around.
The bottle's great. You know, I remember reviewing the bottle and thinking, Jesus, because when I actually reviewed the bottle, the reason I was reviewing the bottle, we knew that it was in the making for the keg, wasn't we? And it was like, wow, you know, this is going to deliver. And I get where people say they're the same, but if you think about it, they're not as close as what you think.
When you're trying them side by side, that's when you can really pick out those subtle differences that you probably wouldn't pick out if you weren't trying them in this environment.
No, I get that, and everything, that's not a problem. I mean, I don't care personally. I know they're on £2 a bottle in Asda, wasn't it, or something, which is brilliant for 500ml. I'm one of them people. I know everyone moans about the prices go up and everything, but rather than opening up with our bottle, I'd rather be pouring out my machine, because for one, it's a feel good factor for me. You know, I could get my machine at 0, it sits at 0.
So what did you get out of the keg? Did you get 10 of these bottles?
11.
Yeah. So for me, if I'm going to have a nice good session on this cider, my recycling bags clinging and clacking and getting rid of all that glass is something that I could be doing without. So
what do you think about
I would prefer it in that respect anyway.
Yeah. Say it's 11, that's £22 for the bottles. Remember, they're on offer at the moment. They're not normally that cheap. By the time you do your keg returns and everything, you're getting your 15%, your £5 back, and you're also getting, it's much for much. It's about 24, 15, 25, it's got £3 more. It's not a lot. For me, they're both a yes. It's a win-win-win, whichever way you choose to go. Right, I've gone on enough. I'm going to say bonjour.
Thanks for watching.
Bonjour.